Formula One, a sport that spans hearts, minds and nations, where the 20 best drivers in the world come together to take on some of the world's most historic circuits. And that legacy continues today. The 2021 championship was thrilling from start to finish, and 2022 is set to be even better.
Stream was messing
New
up.
regulations
Let's
will
start it
usher in an
again.
age of pioneering changes. New driving talent alongside returning champions will be dueling it out to the bitter end. The pressure will be on the team principals in the upcoming season as they manage their drivers, their cars, and the whole team to push to victory. This is not a challenge for the faint-hearted. This is Formula One. Mercedes returned to F1 in 2010, and since 2014 they've won the Constructors' Championships back-to-back every year. In 2021 they took home the Constructors' Championship once more, although they narrowly missed out on the Drivers' Championship, coming in second. Heading into 2022, Mercedes will insist on dominating the competition. Nothing less than the fastest car and the most wins will give the Silver Arrows the outcome they want to see at the end of this new season and beyond. The Red Bull team burst onto the F1 scene in 2005, and ever since 2009, they've been one of the top 3 teams in the championship. Last season ended brilliantly for them. Max Verstappen won the prestigious Drivers' Championship, and Red Bull are flying high once more. Heading into 2022 under the right leadership, Red Bull could find themselves heading up the pack once more. They'll certainly be hoping to end the season with not 1 but 2 championship trophies for their cabinet back home in Milton Keynes. Ferrari have entered Formula One every year since the World Championship began back in 1950. They still hold the most championship titles of any team. The team had a solid season in 2021, securing 3rd place in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari are very much in it to win it. With strong leadership over the 2022 season and beyond, expect to see them fighting for those podium places. If all goes well, they'll be aiming for that top spot as the seasons progress. Mclaren are a cornerstone of F1, having been part of the sport since 1966, and winning numerous drivers and constructors' championships over the years. Last season, they came a respectable 4th overall, with Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris securing the only 1-2 finish of the season. The talented driver pairing of Ricciardo and Norris returns for McLaren this season, and one thing is certain, they're not going to settle until they're reigning champions once more. Alpine was a new name in 2021, bringing F1 drivers Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon back into the spotlight. Alpine finished the 2021 season in 5th place in the constructors' standings, with their first race win secured by Ocon at the Hungarian Grand Prix. 2022 will be a formative season for Alpine as they return with the tried and trusted driver pairing of Alonso and Ocon. In a few years' time, with the right leadership, they could well become championship contenders. AlphaTauri have been a name in Formula One since 2020. They're renowned for being the proving ground for talented new F1 drivers. Last season, they ended in 6th overall. Driver Pierre Gasly also earned them an impressive podium finish in Baku. Heading into 2022, the team continued to develop their current driver pairing of Yuki Tsunoda and Gasly. They'll want to continue scoring regular points and begin working their way past the other midfield contenders. "2021 was Aston Martin's first full season in Formula One. They roared onto the scene with Sebastian Vettel, the legendary 4-time world champion, in one of those coveted driving seats. Despite some teething problems in testing, Aston Martin gave a solid showing and finished the season in 7th place overall. Heading into 2022 with Lance Stroll and Vettel behind the wheel, Aston Martin have the potential to become regular podium contenders. But it's going to take strong leadership and shrewd investment to get them there. Williams is a legendary name in F1, winning 9 Constructors' Championships in their heyday. The Williams family sold the team in 2020, and the 2021 season saw them fighting well from start to end. They finished 8th overall, thanks to some incredible performances by George Russell in his last year as a Williams driver. In 2022, Williams have Nicholas Latifi and new signing Alex Albon, returning to F1 after a year away to make up their driver team. The pressure is on for them to up their performance this season and push their way back towards those midfield places. Haas joined F1 back in 2016, and they've had a good start to their team career, peaking at 5th place in 2018. Last season, they finished 10th, but they spent a lot of time and focus on designing their car for 2022 and strategizing for the future. Going into the 2022 season, Haas hope to have a strong car design under their belts. Coupled with hungry drivers, an ambitious team, and strong leadership, they'll be pushing their performance and fighting their way back to the midfield.
Let's just take a look at the car performance, driving performance. We are taking the bottom team. Williams.
Alfa Romeo boast an impressive...
Okay. What we do with y'all? We're gonna take y'all.
Hi there. Nice to meet you. I'm Audrey Mensa, one of the team's senior engineers. Welcome to the team. It's great to have you on board. We have great ambitions here at Aston Martin, and this upcoming season will be the time to achieve them. Let's show you the ropes. As our new team principal, you're responsible for a lot of aspects of the team. Everything from managing our team's growth,
Yes,
overseeing
sir.
our finances, and deciding on race day strategies will be in your hands. You can keep an eye on most things from your dashboard here. I can take you through it now. First up, an overview of the board. They're the ones who set the expectations for the team. If they're confident in your leadership, you'll be fine. If they lose confidence in you, however, they might look to replace you. The board sets season objectives for the team to achieve. Reaching them will help keep confidence high, so be sure to familiarise yourself with what's expected. You'll want to keep an eye on the long-term objective for beyond this season as well. Okay then, let's look ahead to the race weekend. We need to start preparing for the next Grand Prix, which will be the first of the season. As it's your first day though, there's nothing urgent for you to address. Feel free to explore more, or you can select continue and sign off for the day. Once you do, time will pass, but don't worry about missing anything. You'll automatically sign back in if an important event comes up. Don't forget to check in with the board often. You can monitor board confidence levels, your available budget, and your progress towards a greater team rating from here.
Shit, I'll take that. Just to finish 8th. Take y'all to a championship, man. We're gonna give everybody in-depth look at this F1. Yes, we are.
From here, you can see all the team's facilities, from the staff buildings to the car park development centres. You can build new facilities or, if the team has the time and money, upgrade our existing ones. Facilities affect all areas of our team's performance. Over time, facilities will degrade and become less effective, so keep an eye on their condition. When this happens, we'll need to look at refurbishing or even upgrading that facility to get back to maximum efficiency. It's not just the fastest car that makes a team the best in F1. It's the people doing the hard work behind the scenes. Manage your staff from here, from department heads to your pit crew, and keep up to date on their performance. This is where you'll find relevant information on the team's drivers and reserve driver, including their performance ratings and contract details. You can also scout for new drivers to make sure we have the best driver pairing we can. One of my favourite places. This is where the car builds happen and where we develop and store our car parts. Throughout the season, you'll want to make sure the team are working on upgrading components and that both cars are being kept in good repair. You can also use car analysis to compare our car builds to other teams. This is where you'll carry out your final preparations for the next race. We'll come back here later. This is your calendar for the month. Pay attention to the events that have been marked. The race weekends have already been added for you. More events will get added as the season progresses.
Singapore.
You can see here, when a driver has development points available, you can use them to improve their performance. Highlighting a performance rating will give you more information on their effects. You can also select any of the tabs at the top there to look into the specifics of the driver. For example, before you leave, you might want to check out their current contract with the team.
We're gonna go about it a different way. We're a lower team, so we need all this. Even if it costs, we need this.
Here you can delve deeper into team finances and see our balance, as well as understanding information on income and rewards, and the enforced spending caps we have to abide by. Every team will continuously develop their cars over the season, so it's important you keep an eye on them. You can compare our team cars against any other team here, or even against an average of all teams. If you want to drill down even further, you can compare performance of specific car parts too. This is the warehouse. Isn't it wonderful? This is where we store any uninstalled car parts. We can also design and manufacture new and improved aerodynamic car parts in-house throughout the season and install them on our cars. Actually, hold on. The engineering team have just finished manufacturing a suspension system of a brand new design. Well-designed suspension is crucial to the aerodynamic potential of a race car. We always want the best components possible on our cars, so it's worth checking to see if we should install this one instead of the model we currently have. Right, all the available suspension designs are here to look through. Notice how both cars currently have the same suspension design installed. Check the new design at the top of the list. As each car can only have one suspension fitted, you'll want to check the stats of the new design to see if it's worth replacing the old one. Take the time here to compare the two designs. You may also want to pay attention to the stats that are crucial for the next race and see which suspension is more suitable for that circuit. Looks like this new design only has positive impacts on the car. That's great news. We only have one copy of this suspension at the moment, so you need to decide which car to install it on. Select the new suspension design and get it installed. Can't wait to see this in action on the race weekend. Great work. That's the new suspension fitted. If you want to have more copies of this design manufactured, you can do so from here. Just remember those F1 mandated spending caps, the official limit on how much we can spend on car development and improvement each season. If you don't want the team to manufacture anything right now, we should probably head back. It takes the team a while to manufacture a new car part. If you check your calendar, they'll have given you a delivery date. Now all you have to do is wait patiently and let the magic happen.
Damn, I'm bogus, ain't I? I'm already replacing. Man, I'm gonna go and fuck with you for a minute, man. I ain't gonna do you like that. I ain't gonna do you like that. And we giving the people a good in-depth look. But we already see what we on. You already see what we on.
It's no longer your first day. We'll have you on top of things in no time. You'll continue moving through days this way until it's time for the race, which you can see in the upcoming events list. It's good to get in the habit of regularly checking that list. Let's take a look at what needs doing today. You have an alert in the top corner. There's an important email awaiting a response, so you should check your inbox when you're ready. Looks like you've received a budget approval request. Most of the team's budget is decided by the board at the start of the season, plus whatever we get from last season's prize money and any extra sponsorship revenue we earn. I reckon that's a good decision. It should keep the team in high spirits anyway. Now that's dealt with, we can focus on our first Grand Prix of the season. The race weekend is still a few days away, so move forward when you're ready. We're getting very close to race day now. Just continue to do anything that's needed. In the future, you'll also want to decide on these actions yourself to ensure our team are continuously developing and improving. always some final work to do before we can set off. Check your inbox for the race prep report on this weekend's circuit. Okay, you have all the information you should need. Let's head to race preparation to see if there's any remaining tasks for us to complete. Okay, you want to get started with a design project. These are car parts we can design and manufacture in-house. Each car part impacts different areas of a car's performance, but certain car parts will have a greater impact than others. You can also view our car performance by rank on grid. This is a useful comparison tool and lets you see how our performance compares to that of all the other cars on the grid. Take a look over the different car parts. The highlights indicate which performance areas they impact the most. Pick one that impacts the ratings you want to improve. The team's expertise in making new car parts improves with experience, so each new design is likely to be better than an older one. Just make sure to check the new design against the one currently installed. Testing is also an important step in designing a new car part. Our testing time is limited throughout the season, and it's up to you to decide how much to commit to each design project. If you assign some testing time to this design now, you can see what effect it will have on the car part. Once you've taken a look, let's continue. You can direct the engineering team to focus on specific areas of performance. F1 car parts are complex, and sometimes you'll have to sacrifice performance in one area to achieve gains in another. Over the season, we'll understand more about our car's performance, which will help you to guide the team's design focus. You can try altering the focus now if you like, or else stick with a balanced approach. When you're ready, continue with the process. As a final step before the team gets started on this design project, you need to decide how many engineers you want working on it. You should also decide what approach they should take. Bear in mind, these decisions will have an impact on the duration and cost of the project. When you're happy with everything, confirm the project and the team will get started. Nice work. That's the project started. If you check your calendar, you'll see the team have given you a delivery date for the design. Once it's complete, you'll be able to manufacture that part anytime. Continually designing new car parts is imperative to improving our team's performance and staying competitive on the track. Check out the car analysis area regularly to see how our cars compare to others on the grid. This is your race preparation area, where you'll get the team ready for the upcoming race weekend. You can also find all the information you need on the circuit we're racing on here. One thing you'll always need to do before each race weekend is setting our performance targets. These help us generate more potential rewards for the team. Here we've got the performance targets for this coming weekend. If we meet these, we'll gain extra revenue. Looks like we've got incentives for both the qualifying session and the race. If we can reach those targets, we'll get an additional payout, and it won't cost the team anything if we don't meet them. You can also decide to add targets here and offer our sponsors guarantees. These are a risk, as we face a potential financial loss if we don't meet them. But if you want to offer a guarantee for this weekend and raise the team's potential rewards, now is your chance. I see you like a challenge. It might be tough, but the potential reward is a definite pro. Let's just be careful during the race. We don't want to let our sponsors down. Okay, we're done here. Let's head back. You've done everything needed, and the team can't wait to get started. It's time for the first race of the season. You can take some more time to look around if you like. When you're ready, let's get this show on the road.
Welcome to the archipelago of Formula One. Bahrain might have a small land footprint, but it's showing its big spirit right now in the grandstands. Either way, it's time for another fantastic weekend of Grand Prix racing. The Bahrain International Circuit is a challenging track, and the cars routinely have to brake from high gear to low to take the narrow turns. With the need for downhill braking, the risk of locking up is one drivers will need to manage. It's all about focus and balance to get victory here. We might still be early in the season, but that doesn't mean we can sit back and relax. Everything is up for grabs, and nothing is certain at this stage. Let the weekend begin!
Great to see you again. Welcome to your first race weekend with the team. It's Friday, so we're kicking off with free practice one as usual. Over here is our race preparation area. This is where you can make any changes you need ahead of the upcoming practice session. Rest assured the team have already prepared the cars for practice. When you're ready, we can continue to the practice session. During race weekends, you can decide whether you want to manage the practice sessions yourself or whether to hand over control to your team. As it's your first race weekend, you should let the team handle the practice sessions.
We return to our highly anticipated race weekend, just in time for the start of qualifying. For those teams who made the most of free practice, they'll be heading into qualifying full of confidence, knowing that they can carry today's momentum into the upcoming session. Does practice make perfect? Well, for one standout driver, it will make for pole. Let the competition commence.
To help maximise our drivers' performance, the team have them work on 3 goals during practice: track acclimatisation, car parts knowledge, and setup confidence. If you manage the session yourself, you might get an even better performance from the drivers for the rest of the weekend. Right, time for qualifying. Our results here will determine where we start on the grid for Sunday's race. Qualifying takes place over 3 knockout rounds, and only the fastest drivers will advance each time. Same as practice, the team can handle qualifying for you if you like. Let's get you hands-on for this round, though, just to make sure you're feeling confident before race day kicks off. Our drivers need to be setting their fastest possible lap times, so we can advance to the next round of qualifying. The slowest 5 cars will be knocked out. Keep a careful eye on time remaining. The time limit on qualifying rounds really ramps up the pressure. Right then, let's get a car out on the track for its first run and see how it goes.
Radio check.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, it's green now.
Each car is fitted with a number of onboard cameras, so you can see the action as it happens. You can also use the map view if you like. It gives you a good overview of the whole track and all the cars. Remember, you're managing 2 drivers throughout the session, so make sure to keep an eye on both of them.
Rears are hot.
Yeah.
That's a decent time for a flying lap. Keep an eye on the standings throughout the session and try and keep the drivers out of the knockout zone. Right then, that qualifying run is done, so the driver will return to the pits now. I know everything happens so fast over a race weekend, but if you need to catch your breath, you can pause for as long as you like. Or, if things aren't moving fast enough for you, you can speed up a little.
Copy. So make sure you get your pit limiter as you come in the pit lane.
Our driver is back in the pits. You need to reconfigure the car before we can send them back out. Let's go and take a look. The team will make sure the run plan is updated to include refueling. So all you have to do is fit some fresh tyres. Here you can see all the tyre compounds available this weekend. When making any changes, just be sure you're considering both the condition and the compound of the selected tyre. We want maximum performance during qualifying, so let's use a fresh, soft compound tyre. Soft tyres are the fastest in dry conditions. Confirm the configuration with the team when you're happy.
And that's the lockup!
I wouldn't recommend using these tyres. We'd be best using a fresh soft set for the current conditions. The track will have more grip later in the round, but there will also be more traffic. It's up to you to decide when you want to send the car out. Whatever gets us through to Q2.
Yellow ahead.
Yep.
From the data view, you can see live data from the current session. Here we can see the latest lap and sector times for all drivers and an overview of their tyre conditions. Here you can also view how the current session could affect the drivers' and constructors' championship standings. There's plenty more to dive into with the data view, so make sure you spend some time exploring.
Control it, looks like. I was saying you can manually control it, so I wonder, can I hook my wheel up to it? I wonder, can I hook my wheel up when I want to drive? That is the question. We'll have to check it out and see. It looked good, but I just want to bump it up to see.
Sebastian, pit lane.
Copy. So Sebastian, make sure you get your pit limiter as you come in the pit lane.
If there was any difference, on the what's called it, but it's not. But it's not. Let me just look and see. Is there a difference? Look and see. Just trying to see. Is there a difference? Can y'all see a difference? That is what we want to know. Yeah, maybe the with the Ultra looks a little better from the high. Not very noticeable. Not very noticeable.
So we're happy to let these tyres cool a bit.
Yeah, okay.
Rears are hot.
Okay, okay.
Ah, it looks like we didn't make it through to Q2. Not great, but it's only the first weekend of the season. Plenty of time to improve.
It's time for the final touches here on the grid, ahead of today's race.
Aston Martin did a good job during qualifying, and they're pretty much where everyone expected them to be on the grid. Now, it's up to them to defy expectations during the race itself. Alfa Tauri did rather well in qualifying. Let's see if they can manage to achieve a strong start for the race itself. We're under clear skies here tonight, certainly to the team's relief. Now they can focus their strategy on pushing their cars as much as they can.
And there's going to be a lot for the teams to handle. So will the drivers and their cars be able to cope with the pressure? Let's find out right here at the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Right then, time for the main event, the Bahrain Grand Prix. This is a great time for us to get some early points under our belt. So let's stay focused and push hard. Each driver will need to make at least one pit stop to fit new tyres. On average, a pit stop will cost a driver about 25 seconds. So we need to think carefully about when to pit and why. Let's set a tyre strategy for our drivers now. We need to make sure we have a good plan for when we want the cars to pit. Every race weekend, the team will prepare some recommended strategies to choose from. Let's see what they suggest for this race. Okay, strategy A is a fast but risky option, relying on 2 soft stints and no hard compound at all. Strategy B is a well-balanced option, 2 soft stints and a nice long middle stint on a hard compound. Right, strategy C is a slower but safe option for this track. We'll tackle the final stint on a medium compound instead of a soft tyre. If you think a different approach could work, you can make changes to any of the team strategies or even create one from scratch. We can always adapt our strategy during the race, so we can respond quickly to changing conditions and stay ahead of the pack. Strategy C is a good choice. Going safe for your first race isn't a bad idea. Okay, now to select a strategy for our other driver. It doesn't have to be the same for both. You should consider picking a different strategy for each driver. This gives us a chance to take advantage of in-race events and means we won't have both cars. That's both drivers with a set strategy in place. Right, let's head back to the preparation area and get this race started.
We have clear weather tonight as we look at the drivers in their grid positions. And there's Sebastian Vettel. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. There's Lance Stroll, down the grid. They're starting in the bottom half of the grid today, so there's a lot of cars between them and the podium. The teams are ready to go. Here we go with the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
During the race, you can use the strategy view to check on each driver's strategy and adjust them if need be. You can also check the strategy graphs to see how a car's tyre wear is matching up to the team's expectations. You can also use the car and track tabs to view more details about them. The car tab shows you current and projected component condition and fuel loads, while the track tab has more information about weather and track grip.
Get that good in detail look.
During the race itself, you can direct the team drivers in 3 main ways. Each option will help drivers increase their speed, but will come with a cost in different areas. Increased pace will improve lap times, but at the cost of increased tyre temperature and wear, which can lead to more pit stops and higher risk of tyre failure. You can instruct the drivers in how to manage their fuel. Using more fuel will give them more speed, but you need to ensure there's always enough left to finish the race, as refueling is banned. Finally, you can adjust the Ers strategies for each driver. Higher Ers strategies give the driver a boost of power when racing, but will also drain the car's battery. Timing and battery management are everything here. Fuel commands allow drivers to manage their car's fuel consumption. Just keep an eye on your remaining fuel. If we run out, the car will be forced to retire. If a driver needs an additional performance push for a short time, they can adjust their ERS strategies and use any battery charge they have. There are 3 ERS strategies that deploy more energy than they harvest, but each use that energy for a different purpose. Overtake and defend are best for getting ahead of cars or for keeping them behind you. Deploy is the fastest strategy available. Harvest will prioritise charging up the battery instead of using energy for performance. Neutral will maintain the current battery charge over a lap, which gives a nice balance of energy deployment and harvesting.
DRS enabled.
Was that a lock-up on the track? Let's take a closer look. Now here we see Max Verstappen. It's a lock-up, and that could be costly. And that was a bitter blow for the team, and it may have really hurt their overall chances.
As the race progresses, remember to keep an eye on the planned strategy you put in place before the race. The strategy view will let you check your strategy, adjust it, or even change it entirely. The data view is also an important area to track during the race. It gives you a deep dive into race data, including lap times for all the team's drivers.
Someone's run wide. Here's the replay. Now let's look. We're watching Nicholas Latifi. They're way off the racing line there. That isn't good. That's That's going to be a big blow to the team. Will they be able to recover? We'll see.
Doing a good job, keep pushing.
I think there's been a lock-up. Let's have a look. Taking a look again, it involves Sebastian Vettel. And this, yes, there, that's the lock-up. The team are really disappointed with that. Let's hope it doesn't set them back too badly. Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place. And a new position just gained by Williams. We can take a look now. Now we see the Williams here.
Our driver has just entered the pit window. The pit window encompasses the laps that cover the planned pit stops in your strategy.
A bold move indeed. And with that, they've gained a position. And the team had such high hopes today. What a shame.
This means it's nearly time to call the planned pit stop. Unless you think there's a reason to pit immediately, I always recommend sticking to the strategy and pitting on the optimal lap.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position. Let's take a look at the replay. Taking a look again, it involves Sebastian Vettel. And there they go, moving up a position. Just incredible manoeuvring. Back in the garage, the team absolutely loved it. And there's an overtake from Williams. Let's take a closer look. Now let's look. We're watching Nicholas Latifi. And there they go, moving up a position in the pack. The team are devastated. They'll be questioning just what happened out there. Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
Right, let's talk tyres. During dry races, all cars need to use at least 2 different tyre compounds. If a car doesn't comply with this rule, it will be disqualified from the race. Ultimately, it's your decision on which tyre compounds we go for. Although I'd strongly recommend sticking to the starting strategy when possible. You can see the estimated lap lifetime for each tyre when you focus on them. Once you've decided which tyre to move to, just confirm the pit stop with the team.
Box, box. Box, box. Box, box.
Okay, I'm happy with the box.
Okay, box, 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 box.
Seems to have been a lock-up. Here's the replay. Now let's look at this. The focus on Sonoda. That lock-up could have cost them dearly. And that was a bitter blow for the team. And it may have really hurt their overall chances. Oh, we've had a spin. Let's see what happened there. Let's take another look. There we have Joe. What a spin out! Looks like there's been a lock-up. We can take a look now. Now let's watch this. The Alfa Romeo involved in this one. Oh, and there's the lock-up. That's the last thing they'll have wanted.
Box, box. Box.
Pit lane.
Copy. Just pit limiter, just a reminder on pit limiter. It's good.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position. Let's have a look. Now let's have a look. It's Lance Stroll. They take advantage and muscle their way through. Excellent work. The team watching on and clearly loving that.
Good, come on.
I think someone's run wide. Let's take a closer look. Now we see Valtteri Bottas. Goodness me, they're completely off the racing line. That's going to be a big blow to the team. Will they be able to recover? We'll see. Is that a lockup? Let's take a look at the replay. Right, watch this. There's Schumacher. Well, they've locked up. They won't have been happy about that. The team are really disappointed with that. Let's hope it doesn't set them back too badly. Sounds like someone's locked up. Here's the replay. Now we see the Williams here. And there's the lockup. It almost got away from them entirely.
Struggling with tyres.
Copy that.
Is it working what we're doing?
This will be our last lap.
That's Leclerc! Charles Leclerc is today's winner! A solid performance there from Lance Stroll. Aston Martin had a good enough weekend, but there's still some margin for improvement here.
Yep, plenty for them to think about and strategize, and certainly a good enough result for now.
With the race wrapped up, the team is ranked in 9th in the constructor standings.
The teams now look ahead to the next round, where they'll duel it out in the sand dunes of Saudi Arabia.
Beautiful. Okay. Okay. What happens when you start at the bottom? Let's go though. Well, I want to give y'all an in-depth look at what's going on out there. And not to feel like I did do
The
that.
team's drivers gain experience over each race weekend, depending on their performance. With enough experience, your drivers will be able to improve their skills.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You hit none of that. None of that.
Congratulations on completing the first race weekend of the season. The team's outcome will have had an effect on board confidence levels. You can see their response in more detail in the board menu. But there's plenty of time for that to change over the season. Take a look at what you can be doing before the next race weekend gets here. Our time is precious, and these moments between races are a good point to develop our team further. That suspension we installed before the race was really effective, and the design of the new car part is still in progress. You're pretty much ready to handle things yourself now. Our staff and facilities have a significant impact on the team's performance. When you get a chance, you should check these areas out on your own. If you ever find yourself needing any further information, don't forget you can use the help function for guidance. Okay, I need to head back over to aerodynamics. I'll be in touch again now and then. And I'm looking forward to the team thriving with you at the helm.
All right. Nice in-depth look at F1 Manager 22. We went through step by step, pretty much. And we'll other things. There's a lot of things I've seen. So we will be back on. We're starting with a new team when we start back up. That's what we're gonna do. We're starting with a new team. You couldn't find a better racing engineer, could you? No, you couldn't. Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think so. We're going all young. All right. Well, we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it there. Appreciate y'all. Gaming community. I'm curious to see what this looks like on the wide screen myself though too. So I may get that gameplay up here too, but we're gonna continue on the story. Give you more in depth. That's what you get here. In depth. I'm going through pretty much every nook and cranny. And we starting with the bottom. Starting from the bottom. Well, we out. Peace. Later.